My main focus for this song was to show a glow up within 3 minutes. To show people like, you know what? I started right here, my car broke down, I couldn't help my mom with the rent. Now my rack's too big, I can't even fold it. I don't need help from nobody. Honestly, I went to the studio and I was just chilling, I was freestyling or whatever. Cause that's how I come up with my melodies and how I come up with my hooks and all that. I just freestyle how I'm feeling or whatever. Calabasas just came in my head. I said moonwalking and I didn't know what city I wanted to say. And I said Calabasas. Blueface hit me up and he was like, let me hop on a remix. So I was like, bet, you know, what I'm gonna say, you know? Sent it to him, pulled up to the studio and he did it right then and there.
Ballin' since I was a jit. Way before Oakland and filming the skits, I had to go to get rich.
This is when I first figured out about YouTube. You know what I mean? I didn't know nothing about the platform and nothing. And then I went on there and I was just making little skits because I wanted to act. You know, acting was like my first real like dream job or whatever. So I go on there and I make little skits with my homies and then my friends be like, oh, that's dope. We'll make another one. And I just keep making them and stuff like that. But then I found out you can make money on it, and then that's when I became this little internet monster. Before all of that, I wanted to, you know, I wanted to be a professional gamer, or I made music before that, you know what I mean? So it's like my dad was an engineer back at home. So it was just like a bunch of different hometown childhood things that made me want to be rich. And growing up in poverty and being in the hood and all that, I always had aspirations to live better than that.
Mama was struggling paying the rent. I couldn't help her with shit. Hated I'm feeling so stuck in this bitch. Car broke down, can't fix that shit. I cried at night, I admit that shit.
As a kid, we don't realize what our parents go through. We just there. We just dumbfounded. We don't know if our moms or dads are struggling with bills. We don't know nothing about bills, you know? And as you get older, you start thinking back like, damn, like, cause I mean, I used to be in a struggle to the point where like, my mom probably wouldn't want me to tell nobody this, but we used to have to like boil water so we can take like a hot bath. You know what I mean? It used to be really bad back in the day. So, but as a kid, I'm like, oh, this is normal. You know what I mean? I'm just grab this big ass thing of water. I'm gonna put it on the stove and then I'm gonna heat it up, take a bath. This is regular. But growing up, I'm like, that is not, you know, that's not life. You know what I mean? And it was like at the time, I'm just a kid. I couldn't help my mom. It's just certain stuff that happens in my life that I had to highlight in this song.
Oh, too old, I whipped that bitch. She left me alone, but I miss that bitch. Text right now, lie, hit that bitch. Old friends like how you get that lit. Same on me, but they think I switched. Fuck old friends, I don't know that bitch. Racks too big, can't fold that shit. Hand getting on when I hold that shit.
I don't know what it's like to, you know, be friends with somebody that just took off into the universe. Not to sound cocky or nothing, but I don't know how it feels, but I do notice that a lot of people is more intimidated by me, like I'm not the same person. Like a lot of old friends don't speak to me the same. A lot of people want to see you win, but they don't want you to do better than them.
Mama, I told you we gonna be okay. Whipping the bench, she live in LA. Trying to thank God, but don't know what to say.
My mom was very, very proud of me. I don't think that she thought it would be this big of a song. She'd hear it on the radio and she'd call me and she'd tell me she crying because she heard it on the radio and all that, so.
Spent 400 on beanies. Easy. She won't dick, she need freak. I like rest no Lamborghini.
That's a little cap because I just got a Lamborghini on my birthday. I drove Lamborghinis before and I don't like how low they sit. I feel like Lamborghinis are very, very uncomfortable and I feel like it's strictly just to flex, you know what I mean? So when I said that, I kind of don't like Lamborghinis, but I do like Lamborghini trucks. I like how Lamborghinis look, but I prefer to drive a Wraith.
She up, she sleepy. Make me a wish, no genie. Vanish on niggas just like Houdini.
If I had one wish, I would wish to be happy 24/7. No sadness. You get to this point where I could circulate money 24/7. I can make money in my sleep. Money does not make me happy. So it's like, if it was a wish, if it was a genie can make me happy 24/7, never down, I would love it, not give a fuck. I hate giving a fuck. I wish I didn't give a fuck anymore.
I feel like Michael Jackson, moonwalking through the Calabasas. Louis bag got a hold the wretch, just in case a nigga wants some action.
When I think Michael Jackson, I thought moonwalk, I thought smooth, and I feel like I'm a smooth dude. I'm living a very, very luxurious life right now at such a young age, and you know, I like to kind of remind myself and, and let myself just soak in my blessings. So, I was just feeling myself.
Got some means, but it's just a fraction. Spend money for my satisfaction. Benjamins won't fuck with Jackson.
The greatest thing that I spent money on that brought me satisfaction, I say my house. My house is absolutely incredible. When I wake up every morning, I walk around my big ass 5-bedroom house, and it's just my little ass in there. And I say, you know what? This is cool. You know what I mean? This is dope.
Bet when I drop down, post that shit.
I don't never feel no type of way if somebody don't post my shit. It was just me saying like, eventually you gonna need me. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna just remember that. I just remember how people treat me when I'm not as lit as I'm finna be. And then when I get there, I remember that.
All good though, I'ma note that shit. When I blow, you owe me, bitch. Humble ass nigga, but I know I'm rich. Yeah, rich as fuck. Fuck that shit, I know I'm lit.
Sometimes I let things or situations or people, whether it's like fans or people in my actual life, make me feel like I'm not as lit sometimes. You know what I mean? But then I gotta snap out of it. I say, wait a second. I just hopped out this mansion and hopped in the Rolls Royce. You know what I mean? And then I hopped out the gate and I went to go did this and that. And I'm only 23 and I moved my mama out the hood and I bought her a Benz and blah, 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 blah. Just got jet woo. I'm doing a lot of lit shit. You know what I mean? Like I can't let nobody tell me I'm not lit. What the hell? So I just reminding myself, because not a lot of people can tell me shit but me. So I gotta tell myself, give myself that pep talk.
If we beef, I'll fuck your bitch. All of the niggas I beef on the internet, I hit up all of they bitches and get them wet. Call her Uber, I hit them and send it back, do it in silence, cause players ain't into that. No, I hit this bitch on the low. Oh, she said her dick game was so. If she had told me you broke, that's tough.
Internet beefing is really irrelevant. I feel like beefing is irrelevant in general, honestly. I just don't really see the point in it anymore, especially over the internet. None of it ever transferred to real life. If I beat somebody on the internet, I note it, you know what I mean? And I put it in my head and then I do something petty in return. That's just how I am. People that beef on the internet, they know what they're doing and they're doing it to make money. So I'm gonna collect money off you and I'm gonna hurt your pride and your dignity. I win every single beef online. I don't know why people keep trying me online. It's just like my fan base is crazy. DDG Squad, if you listen to this, you know you lit. You know what I mean? Like they can't mess with us.